seemed like a no-brainer to me to write because they were like two of the most dramatic words we knew as Pacific people.
I think we all had an initial reaction where it was like, really? This really happened?
Those dawn raids affected us in horrible ways, but in our drive to be good visitors, we just parked that. It wasn't that's not important, it was well, that's our history.
During the economic recession of the late 1960s, Pacific Islanders were encouraged to come to provide much-needed labour. But despite this, it's the Polynesian migrant who's been accused of being at the crux of New Zealand's migration problems.
I just wanted to tell a true story about a family which looked at the issue differently. The universe is full of stories, right? And I'm still certain that's the best way to live here.
Telephone, my name is Tanya, and we are Pacific Underground.
Pacific Underground started in the early 90s. There was a whole generation emerging who were inspired by African American stuff, trying to find our voice in music and arts. Fresh off the boat was 93, our first main bill. We toured that for a couple of years. We were adding our Pacific timber to New Zealand theatre, so that was why we existed. We served our community, and the community it was huge.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting time. It was vibrant, and back then everyone was wearing tapa shirts, and it was a renaissance, yeah.
I remember seeing you there in the sun.
We were looking for a play to do, and that was my job. I was one of the group's writers.
You again in Samoa.
It was like, oh, what are we going to do next? And I better write a play. What could it be about? Oh, the dawn raids. Those two words that mean so much, but back then wasn't being discussed.
We've got to control our immigration. We can't let a flood come here and swamp us and swamp our economy.
As part of its policy to cut immigration, the government has tightened up on the policing of its immigration laws. In the past 4 years, our population has been increased by 100,000 permanent and long-term arrivals. By far the majority of these migrants have come from Great Britain. But despite this, most of those randomly questioned by the police were Polynesian, and charges that the crackdown was racist were made at protest meetings held up and down the country.
There were so many different people affected in different ways by the dawn raids, and the play really touches on all of those perspectives.
The first part of my research was just reading everything that was written. That was horrific enough. I probably could have written the play just from those horrible things, but it would have been what was reported in the media, and I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to speak to people who were at different ends of the spectrum. I wanted to talk to a leo. I wanted to talk to a matriarch who was helping with the community. I wanted to talk to the youngsters who were agitating against it. I wanted to get all those different perspectives, just people who were there.
All of the different views of the dawn raids and everyone's opinions about it, everything is revealed through this family. You know, it really comes to a halt. Part of our storytelling is an extension of our oldest tradition. There's power in that, you know.
There was a great blank canvas for us all to write whatever we wanted. After we performed it in '98 in Christchurch, I thought that would be it. But it made the school reading list, the curriculum, high school, and so it was studied in schools, and that's the life that it had.
Whakalofalahi atu ki mo tolo osi. I stand before you as a symbol of the crown that wronged you nearly 50 years ago. Today is a day of solemn reflection.
When they told me that Auckland Theatre Company wanted to restage it in the light of the apology and the raised profile of the Polynesian Panthers, I was a little bit scared. But PU and ATC did such a beautiful production.
No, I'm your father and you will obey me, Teresa. No more coming home late.
I can't come home early. We're too busy.
Who's too busy?
What new group, Dad?
What new group?
The Brown Panthers.
The what?
We definitely understood the responsibility that came with the piece because it hadn't been done for 20 years. In a way, it was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We've tried to keep the interpretation as honest to the script as possible.
So Anna, can I see all this in the letterbox?
We're really proud of how our young people are grasping, the story. At the time that we put that play on, Talia would have been 2. And every now and then she'd jump on stage and sing songs. And here we are watching my daughter playing the same role that my sister played. So it's kind of a full circle moment.
So, show your lips.
I just couldn't get it into my body and all the lines and how she sees things, especially her attitude towards her parents. Oh my gosh.
Get it right. It's the Brown Panthers.
I don't care.
Mom goes, yeah, just be like Auntie Michelle. How she's sort of bossy. Sorry, Auntie. I'm going, okay, got it.
Creatively, it's a great opportunity for everyone to be able to stand on whatever story that they're willing to tell. And to be like, there's a piece or a story I'd like to share, and it's not all pretty. The idea of being pitched this paradise to come to, be a part of this place, and then got turned away after we were needed, almost.
For a long time, we didn't tell the story. They happened, people sort of went back, and that was it. And we don't talk about it. Even today, some of our elders that were directly affected by the dawn raids, they still don't really want to talk about it. But I think that the future generations, I think they need to know what happened to our people and why things are the way they are.
It's tough, but those are the things that these stories can help with, yeah.
Is there Samoan and there's Maori and there's Tongan and they need me?
What for?
Because I'm the legal advisor.
I think there was a lot of anger, but there was also a lot of hope and excitement for the young people at the time. And I think we're seeing a similar attitude today with everything that's, going on. That same sort of like, we can get together and make a change.
I think what's good about the conversations now is like the acknowledgement that it happened. There's more honesty behind what had happened, That's made me a little bit more confident in talking about it.
I went to the opening night in Auckland and I was just like 25 years of pain was washed away. It was very healing, just how it hit people. I remember talking to the Samoan man who'd driven from Tonga. He ended up there to get away from the raids, and he was there sitting in the dark. He was just in tears. And young people still aghast. I thought, no, it's still got a power. It still says something, And actually, part of maybe what this play's doing is telling people why we can't go back there.
I think activism is more acceptable nowadays and more at the forefront. I think the hope is to do with the fact that it's been done before. We're seeing people like the Polynesian Panthers change outcomes for the future. It inspires people to do the same thing.
Whatever they take away from it, let that be the starting point of any discussion there.
That's the thing about art. It just has to exist for itself, and what people get from it, they get from it.